Hi, my name is nkritikos, and today I'm going to be interviewing Sandra DeSpirito. She's the co-owner and office manager of Bakery Boys of New York, which is a manufacturing and distribution bakery located in New York, Corona. There are currently 70 employees and one central location. Today is Friday, October 24th, 2014. How are you doing today, Sandra?
I'm good.
Thank you for coming to do this interview. Means a lot. So I'm going to start off with asking, how did you get involved with this business?
My husband started a bakery when he was 18, and I worked for him in the office.
So we were talking earlier about this before you agreed to do the interview, and I was very interested to hear that when you first started working, it was a very small-time bakery that was dealing with mom-and-pop shops and pizzerias, but now you were telling me that you have big chains that you deal with, and you really grew the business when you started working there. How did you do that?
Yes, we started out, we had about 40 accounts, and I used to have to handwrite everything. All the invoices, I used carbon copy paper. I had to handwrite all my vendor invoice bills, accounts receivable, accounts payable, everything was done by hand.
So when you became involved and all this new business came in, what did you change in the office? How did you change things?
I had to work with a computer program to customize a system for us. We had picked up a major grocery chain account in Manhattan, and they had strict guidelines that we had to follow. So we ended up making a program just for us to be able to be in compliance with the way they did business.
Did other parts of the business change as well, or was what changes did you see?
Oh, absolutely. We had to get more trucks, more drivers, more insurance, more liability insurance, product liability insurance, everything changed.
Yeah. And so up until this point, you bought all your product, you bought from a bakery and then sold it to other bakeries, but when did you really become a manufacturing bakery?
Well, after a while, we realized that we could profit more if we manufactured our own products. So we decided to take out a business loan to buy bakery equipment. We rented a warehouse, and then after a while, we realized we would profit more if we didn't have to pay rent. So we bought the buildings we were renting, we tore them down, and we built a customized bakery that would fit us exactly what we needed.
So with all this new business that you had, did the procedure that you originally set up with the computer work in the office change, or did you use the same program?
No, as we grew and got more chains, grocery store chains, the technology had to change along with it. We had another program customized for a manufacturing company now that we were manufacturing. And then as we picked up other chains, their guidelines were changed. We had a direct store delivery system, so we had to get handheld computers for the drivers to use when they went into the stores. So I had to work with the programmers on that. And then also the chains wanted UPC codes for our products that we were making, so I had to work on that. I integrated all that. I had to make nutrition labels, ingredient labels. Everything had to be in compliance with the grocery store chains. So along with that was working really well, and it was very organized, so I used most of those systems along with our mom and pop stores as well.
Yeah. And so you say UPC codes, these handhelds. Where'd you get these devices? How'd you figure that out?
The programmer who does it's called Baker's Dozen. It's made specifically for the bakery industry. They also have another side of it that can do the handhelds, and they worked with us.
So it's kind of like you go into the store with the handhelds and they scan the product in?
They scan the product as they fill the stores up with what they need, and they scan it right in. They sell off the truck, basically.
All right. And so the drivers that are on the truck will take control of these handhelds, and they have them in their possession all the time?
They have them in their possession. They have a printer. They go into the store. They fill up the shelves with the product they need. They scan the items, print out a delivery ticket. The store manager signs it, and then they bring it back to me.
How many employees do you have that run the office?
In the office itself, there's only 4 employees, and then there's so many different components to the business. And total, we have 70 employees.
70
bakers,
employees.
drivers,
So there's a lot to this business.
There's so many aspects to the business.
And how do you figure out who's the best for these positions? I mean, I was talking to you before, and you said that you have a lot of workers that have been there for 20 years or so that you've been working with for a long time. How do you find other employees to work? What do you do for that?
As we grew, we used Craigslist. Recently Craigslist is fairly new, but we used headhunters, word of mouth. We put signs up in the front store window. A lot of family members, a lot of our employees have family members, and it's one big family, actually.
So a lot of it is word of mouth and this person's cousin, that like
right.
a very family style business.
Family oriented, yes.
And I'd imagine with it a little bit deviating away from that, what do you do for marketing? How do you guys market your product? Do you go into stores? I know that I was talking to your husband, and he was saying that a lot of it is going into the stores and just talking with the owners. But when do you get first contact with them, when they're calling in to talk about the product? Or
Well, we never really had to do much marketing because our biggest customers are the chains, and the chains have buyers. Mm-hmm. So we meet with the buyers, and they get to know our product, and they know it from all the grocery stores, and we don't really need to, market the product.
You don't need to put it on billboards.
No, and we have salesmen that go to the mom and pop stores with the product. So I guess that's a way of marketing.
To keep connections.
Right.
Right. So when you go into these stores and you meet these big connections, how does that work? How do you get in contact with these big companies?
Well, basically, you have to make one connection to start with.
So,
and then that person, it's all who you know. That person moves on to another company. They get a higher position in companies. They know your product, how great it is, and they just, they speak. Everybody knows each other in the business, and they know we have a great product, and they know we have great service.
So basically, it's a very word of mouth kind of thing where this person's saying this, and they say, "Oh, we like your business, we like your product," and they'll refer you. So with knowing the basics of the business, where do you plan on going from here? What's the next step? Do you continue to sell to chains? I'd imagine that you'd get so big to the point that you could sell to big places like Publix or Walmart. What do you do?
Well, that is a challenging thing for us. It was a challenging thing. We wanted to be in other grocery stores, but we weren't big enough to do that. So we are actually opening a new location in the next couple of months. We're taking over a bakery that's pre-existing, and we're moving our cookie plant so we can manufacture more and ship to more states. Our cookies are in several states right now.
Oh, so you guys... So what you're basically doing is you're coming away from the bread and the rolls, which is what you normally been doing for the past few years.
No, we'll never get away from that. We're going to keep all that, but we want to expand our cookie line. We want to be able to
so the next step
more.
is you're gonna start bringing your cookies throughout the United States.
Well, that's the plan. Yes.
Why not bread, if you don't mind me asking?
Bread you can't ship bread. That has to be made.
You got to go past that.
Right. Yeah. So cookies can be shipped, and that's our main line.
So how do you go about finding new customers in different states? Do you do you show up personally, or how does that work?
Yes, we actually show up personally with our cookies and make them taste it, and
if they like it, they'll take the product.
If they like it, they take it.
It's very impressive. So when you go to these companies, are you going to individual businesses like mom and pop shop in Florida, or are you going to?
We do have a route of mom and pop stores in Florida now because we live in Florida and we live in New York. But the plan for the cookies is to go into chains.
Into chains.
And to deliver to warehouses, and then they distribute to their individual stores.
And so I don't really know too much about this business. Would you go to their headquarters of these big chains?
Yes, and we deliver to, it's called Harris Teeter. They're in North Carolina. We deliver to their warehouses, and they distribute to their individual stores throughout North Carolina.
All right, and so from there, they'll separate the distributors will go into other small shops and they'll deliver. Which since you guys are distribution, do you guys have big trucks like 18-wheelers, or how do you guys deliver? What makes you a distribution bakery?
Well, we have shipping, we have trucking companies that pick up our product, but you know what? We can buy a semi truck and start doing that ourselves also.
So that's also a possible route
That's
to take
definitely a
eventually one day too.
possible route. Yes,
Yeah, there's a lot of different branches to
you
this
can.
business.
It's endless, and then maybe one day we'll open our own grocery stores and sell our cookies.
Yeah, just based on cookies. I like that. All right. Well, that concludes my my immediate presentation, or interview, excuse me. I would love to talk more about this. Thank you for doing this, and
Thank you.
it's going to be on YouTube. It'll be famous.
Oh, yay.
Thank you.